Check, 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 check. All right, let's get this thing going. Will take me just a moment to do my pre-flight checklist that I should have already done. And we'll see if anybody actually shows up. Let me invite the crew from Discord. So, what I'm going to be doing this evening, yesterday I tracked new drums for a song from the band that I'm drumming for called Burnt Witch. This is a song called Haitian Queen. You guys may recall me doing a stream not too terribly long ago where I tracked drums for it initially. And I think that the track wasn't exactly finished. I thought it was, but there was another section that it looks like I may be redlining. Let me back off a bit. But the track wasn't quite finished. There was another part that was added. So I got that backing track and did a couple takes yesterday. And seems that everything turned out pretty good with just the 2 takes. So I've already comped, as you can see here. Let me get my screen focused here. I used primarily the second take, and I pulled a couple of little clips from the first take. And I think I'm about ready to go through and edit. So I'll start from the beginning and just play it through from front to back. And then we'll go ahead and start editing. That'll give people a little bit of time to pop in if they want to. Of course, as always, these streams are typically unannounced, so we'll see if anybody even shows up. You guys and girls, let me know if the audio is okay. See, that's bugging. I just heard something that I probably should have fixed in the comping phase, but let me go ahead and see if I can spot that again. Yeah, it was right about there. Let's try welcome aboard. Let's see if we can pull in some of that other take there. Just a sec. I think that I switched to that other take just because I heard, like, I think I hit a mic on something. We'll see if we can isolate that part just a bit. That seems like that may work. Let's try a little bit smaller sliver. Now it's going to have to go back. It's going to have to be a little bit longer section. That works. section that's about to come up, this was the section that was added from the previous time that I tracked drums. I mean, I retracked all new drums, but this section wasn't previously in it. Solo, just getting started. We are previewing the track, and I'll start editing after this is done playing. So that is it, and as I had put in chat there, this feels pretty good as it is. It's not perfectly in time, which is fine, and it sounds almost like it doesn't need editing. Excuse me. But all that said, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and comp into a new lane. Yeah, I guess what I'm going to do, like I said, is just copy this into a new lane. I'll rename that lane to edit 2. And that way I've got the preserved original performance, then my edited one. Excuse me while I call. Got choked on a little bit of a cookie that I ate right before starting the stream. Thank you, sir. Well, we're going to see if we can get this tightened up a little bit, and the way that I like to do this, for those of you who are new, is I do cuts and slip edits, which means that I will make a cut in the track. Now, I've got my drum tracks grouped so that what I do to one of my drum tracks happens to all of them at the same time. And I'll cut and slip edit, meaning I'll slide the contents of the waveform inside of each segment to get it a little more in time. Now, this creates a bit of a ripple effect, so every time that I cut and slip edit something, it can cause some problems downstream. So you'll see you fix one problem, you create a new one in a roundabout way, but it all works out pretty good. Of course, that's well water. Only the finest. So I'm going to engage my slip editing mode. And I'll probably go back and pay more attention to these hats at the beginning a little bit later. For right now, let's focus on making sure that our kick and snares line up. And you can see here that we're lined up on the first transient. And the reason that these kicks are off is because I'm doing a bit of a triplet, a fake triplet. I'm doing a double on the kick and completing the triplet with the snare. So I'll switch to my 8th note grid. And I can see that my snare is pretty well lined up. So knowing that our first transient at the full intro is on, I'll go ahead and make a cut there. And we'll go backwards and work on this just a little bit. See what this sounds like. I think that needs to be 8th note triplets. We'll figure this out in a second. Swing always bothers me. Okay, so it looks like 8th note triplets is what I need to be on, and with that in mind, it actually looks like I was spot on for my playing there. So I'm going to remove that cut. We'll stay in our 8th note triplets. Switch back to slip editing mode and start to move on down the line. If you got any questions about what I'm doing, feel free to ask. If you'd like to leave a donation, you can do so with the Super Thanks link. If you don't want to leave a donation, that's fine too. I don't require it. I do have a drum editing and Reaper course that's available on ProMix Academy. I think I've got a link in the description, but I've also got plenty of free content on YouTube that you are more than welcome to watch, or you can ask questions during the stream. This is not what I do for a living, just something I do for fun. And in this case, I am editing my own drums just to tighten it up a little bit for our new song. And as you can see, kind of like what I was talking about, once you move your first one, you kind of create a little bit of a ripple effect. So there's a constant push-pull going on here. I try to edit in as large of a section as I can, because I am not perfect and don't expect this performance to be perfect. I just want it to be a little bit tighter than it was. Let's see, I got my ride spot mic. I think I want to increase that a bit because I was running pretty prominent on the bell of that ride. I need to make sure that that's all fairly well lined up. Looking pretty good there. And we can see here this ride is off a touch. And it is audibly off, so we'll go ahead and get that lined up. It's interesting, it felt really good before, and now it seems like I broke it, but when it's done, it's going to sound magical. There are scripts and things that you can do to kind of do this automatically, but I most definitely prefer to do it by hand because the end result still sounds very much human. It just sounds a bit better than it did before. Excuse me. Now I've got a decent amount of push-pull here that's going to take some finagling, so I shall finagle away. That should get it. I want to preview that. That sounds great. A little off on that snare hit. Not quite sure what's happening here. That kick, I'm going to guess, is supposed to go there. Doing a small amount of guessing here. I want to go ahead and preview this while I'm here and thinking about it. That little ghost note on the snare there needs to be pushed over. It's such a tiny thing, but its relationship to the next snare hit kind of messed it up. I think I'm going to just move this back a little bit and do it by ear. We are just about to the first verse, so we can go back and review our work on this intro. I think that probably, as far as my playing in any kind of a swing feel is my weakness. I tend to get a little bit tongue-tied on some of the fills and transitions and stuff, but I was really surprised that this worked out as well as it did. I'm going to need to see my toms a bit better. Let's see, we still got a little bit to go, but let's go ahead and take a listen to our intro and see how we're faring. That's all sounding really good with the exception of one of the snare hits, but I think I will probably go back and hit that later. I don't want to spend too much time on it, and I'm just doing a, what is up, Rip? Been a while, man. But I think that I want to try to do as quick of a run through as possible, and it may take a few passes, just refine it more a subsequent time. Excuse me. How are things up in the Bronx, good sir? Hopefully life has been treating you well up there. I've been a bit of a ghost in the Discord community, but I can see that you guys are keeping the ball rolling and have not burned down the house. I appreciate that. Looks like this could use a slight nudge to the east. Those are looking pretty good. We'll start to attack it here. These are such tiny nudges. Wait, what the heck? I feel like I'm seeing things there. Oh, I see what it is. It's my my playhead was. Oh, sorry, I kicked the mic. My playhead was dangerously close to that grid marker, and I was kind of seeing double. Excuse me. I don't know what it is about live streaming, but it's like every time that I stream, I have this urge to grunt and cough a lot. I was fine before we started. That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, I might want to listen to that one now. Nudge that crossfade a bit to see if I can fix that cymbal bleed. That sounded dang near perfect. Jameson, it has been a while since my last confession. So if you're just tuning in, this is actually the same song that I was editing last time, except different. Apparently, when I tracked drums for this initially, the song wasn't done. So there's a whole new section added, and I just went ahead and tracked the whole song yesterday. We are doing our usual little bit of tightening and a little bit of rambling. More rambling than tightening. That's looking good. Got a few little discrepancies here. And we have made it to the verse. So we will get that first transient there, and let's go back to the beginning and see how we're sounding so far. I'm going to mute my mic so I can cough and drink my water. that is sounding pretty good so far, so let's tackle this first verse. Okay, that's, whoops, sorry, hit the wrong button. It's been a minute. Let's see if that works. Yep, that works. Let's see how badly off my kicks were yesterday. I got some new barefoot shoes, I think they're called. I don't remember the brand. I think it's Witten, some relatively inexpensive brand I got off of Amazon, and they feel so good while drumming. These aren't too terrible. Just a few milliseconds here and there. Like it looks like more movement than it is because I'm zoomed in so far. Excuse me. Tommy Iommi approves. You know, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name, if the I is long or if it is it Iommi or Iomi. I think my favorite part of the song is when it drops back to the intro riff after the chorus. It just goes from that swing feel, then hits like a load of bricks. Iomi, good to know. I'm ashamed to admit that so much of this stuff is still kind of new to me. Well, we played our first few shows recently. We've been together since I think November, maybe late October. And we played a show in Memphis a few weeks ago, and then the very next night took off to St. Louis and played a show there. And the next week, or it may have been 2 weeks later, played another show in Memphis. We were able to play at Growlers. As of right now, we don't have a ton of shows lined up, but we've got one scheduled for June, and our bass player and I may as well call him band manager, is working on some additional show opportunities. We've gotten a lot of attention from our live show, which has been really nice. I didn't realize how passionate the Doom community is, and I think that the different styles that each of our members kind of favors. I don't know. It seems like maybe we've got somewhat of a unique style. I could be wrong about that, but it seems unique to me versus the other types of Doom that I've heard so far. This particular song, I think, is a bit cross-genre. Like it just seems like it's got a bit of a vibe to it that people that are not traditionally into Doom would probably like. See, how far are we from? Okay, we're almost to the chorus. We'll finish this up and then preview, as I like to do. Because there's not much point going further if I've created some kind of a show-stopping bug. So I prefer to work a section at a time, check it, make sure it's pretty clean, at least 90% of the way there, then move on to the next. Now, if there's something that's terribly bad, I want to go ahead and fix it while it's there because I'll forget. And I may or may not hear it later. I also like to do this, as you notice every time that I play back. For the most part, I'm playing it with the backing track in place because you're always going to hear something that's not just right, but the important thing is, does that problem present in the mix? And this is not the final mix, but again, just given the context of the song, you get to a point of diminishing returns if you start to get too nitpicky about stuff. It seems to be moving along pretty smoothly, so we'll almost done with this section. Yeah, yeah. It's got an A and some P's in it. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like that crossfade should be back a little bit. Yeah. Apples. Pretty clean sections there. Yeah, I kept the verses pretty simple on this. I may have done a few accents in some places, but for the most part, just a bit of a driving swing beat, and saved most of my fills for the heavier sections. In other news, tomorrow is a special day. It is my and Mrs. Let's Talk About Reapers 29-year anniversary. We semi-celebrated today by filming for a performance that's going to be here in town in a couple of weeks, and then we went to, this is going to sound ridiculous, but we went to a petting zoo in a nearby city. We've got a friend that has a pretty good-sized venue, and they had some Highland cow and some goats and stuff there today, and it was pretty cool. Yep, 29 years. Let me find a picture here real quick. So here is us 29 years ago. I had no hair, no beard, and was a little bit slimmer than I am now. Well, you say we haven't killed each other yet, but you notice you don't see her. No, she went to bed early tonight. I say early, it's almost 10 p.m. here. You get to a certain age, that's late. Oh, that's funny. You said holy cow. Hold that thought. Let me find it. Wait, that's the bunny. Where's the cow? I know that I have this cow picture. Where is this cow? Oh, there it is. So here is us with that cow today. I really like the goats that we were able to hold today. I never thought I'd say it, but it's like I left that place wanting a goat. We came home and the dog acted like I cheated on her. Seems like we ought to be getting dangerously close to the end of this verse. That's good enough. We'll need to slip that down just a touch. I definitely want those kicks to feel pretty solid. Man, it looks like I was barely hitting that snare, but it sounds good. Okay, there we go. We're at the chorus. So we'll slip that transient into place, and let's back it up to just a little before that verse and hear what we've done. All right, so looks like our first transient is on, and then we get off just a little bit right off the bat. So let's start fixing this chorus. This is sounding quite good overall, and I do feel like this little bit of nudging is doing more good than harm. And that's the thing, is like sometimes you're better off just leaving stuff alone. And I felt like I should have left it alone right when I started, but at the same time, I started the stream, so I may as well edit. At least I have both versions. Yeah, I'm digging it. I am digging it a lot. I think this is my favorite song by us so far. I'm looking forward to hearing the finished version for sure. I'll leave that one alone. No, I'm going to nudge it because that next kick is just a little bit off, and I can slip them both at the same time, and that works. I'm looking forward to getting to this interlude. It's my favorite part. The band is Burnt Witch. We've got an EP that's out now on the streaming platforms as well as Bandcamp. I believe it's 4 songs. We've got more written, but they are waiting on me to track some drums for some. I've got another that is finished but not released yet that we've been playing live. What have I done here? Let's pull this backwards and see if that's correct. Yep. Backwards was the right move. And looks like we got some tom work here. Slight push pull there. I think I heard where a crossfade may need to move. I want to play that back again. Nope, I was wrong. That sounds fine. I think I probably say this every stream, but man, that ride bell sounds so good. Let's see here. I believe I'm using the default. Let's find out for sure. Yes, I am on default 6. When did I do that? I must have done that by accident. I think I was playing with some stuff. Yeah, I was on default 6, and now I'm back on default 7. I think I was comparing some things when troubleshooting White Tie's thing with the cables. It feels like an unnecessary move, but this one is necessary. Let's try that. There we go. It was very slight, but it was making my ears twitch just a touch. You got a pretty good eye there if you spotted that as 6, because like I had to look and check myself. I don't know. I feel like I've experimented with so many different themes and just kind of keep coming back to the default because it just works. There are some things that I wish were a little bit different, and there are some things that I could make a little bit different, but it's not necessarily worth the time or effort to fool with it. I think if anything, I may go into the theme configuration editor and make my grid lines a bit more prominent. Sometimes they're hard for me to see because of the color of the media items. Just not quite enough contrast sometimes. All right, we have made it to the interlude, so let's take this back to a little before the chorus and see how that feels in context. Yeah, that interlude is completely unedited with the exception of that first transient being moved, and it just sounds so good. But now I want to go in here and get these ride bells placed properly. That was done by Dustin Almighty. I don't know if he's in here. I'm very curious about the gradient. I've seen people do that before, and I have wanted to look up how that's done, but I've also been too lazy to look up how that's done because I'm not sure that it would serve any real purpose for me. Like it's aesthetically pleasing, or at least I think it might be. But my needs are simple. I mean, I look at a lot of the stuff that other people do in Reaper, and I'm just absolutely amazed because all I do is just record some drums, and that's about it. Google's being evil tonight. Have no clue what I did there. So we'll just work with what we can see, and we'll spot check this in a minute. Mostly kind of focusing on the ride, kick, and snare for this segment. anytime that I'm pinging that bell, I want to make sure that it's dangerously close to spot on because it really drives the feel of the song there. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're in the Discord community, but don't post your email in chat because that would do some bad things probably. The bots will scrape it. But I'm easy enough to find on Discord in the community. And of course, if you know my proper name, I'm easy to find on Facebook and other places. I haven't been paying attention. I'm not sure if I've finished this section or not. I don't think I have. I kind of get in the zone doing this sometimes and just lose my place. It's like I'm on autopilot at this point. But that's kind of the point. Doing this is sometimes this is a lot more challenging, but for the most part, this is relaxing for me. See that script thing, that sounds familiar. I'm thinking maybe either Alejandro or Wanchus had done something with that before. Or no, maybe this was back in the when Aria was much more active. Because I think that he used gradients pretty frequently. And it looks really cool, but I think I'm not really sure what about the function versus fashion aspect. Looks like we're getting close. Or it sounded like it, I should say. This is like waiting on paint to dry, isn't it? Got a little off there. Oh, I'm ashamed of myself on that one. I was way off. Oh, I think this looks like this may have been one of my kick tom triplet flam things. That's a lot of vocals. I'm telling you, I am like so simple with this stuff. Okay, looks like we have come to the end of this section. Let's see how that feels, shall we? Go back a little bit before the interlude for context. that sounds just fine to me. I think the only thing that sounds kind of weird to me is my ride is panned too far over. Let's bring that inward just a little bit. Yeah, that sounds better. I've got it panned drummer perspective, so if something sounds a little out of place, it's hard for me to ignore it with the panning there. Fairly tight here. Okay, got you. Yeah, so that's you've got a color coding system that makes sense to you. I don't know why I did my drums this color. I think I just did. I used to have my drum tracks gray, and then I just decided to put a splash of color in there. What's interesting to me is seeing people that don't color code their tracks at all, because it's really helpful for me with staying organized. But at the same time, if you're working at an actual console, they're all the same color. All you've got is the tape, if you've even got that, giving you the name of the track. A new world full of color. Of course, in this case, I've just got my drums, my metronome track, and the backing track, so not a lot of color coding necessary. Now, if it were one of my own songs where I had recorded all the instruments and had the source tracks, of course, my guitars would be red, bass is blue, vocals are usually purple, or I should say violet, V for vocal/violet. I think initially I tried to just go with something that had a bit of a mnemonic to it, just to help with the visual. Like the guitars were green, just because they both start with G. But for whatever reason, green guitar tracks just don't feel right. It's like they should be red or orange or something fiery and blistering. I don't know why. That snare is off just a touch, but I'm going to leave it, because the little bit that it's off does not look like it can be felt. Not enough to matter anyway. We'll just make that slightly out of time snare like a Easter egg and see who picks up on it in the finished product. Can't let that kick slide though. I gotta get those kicks in. Pretty good looking section there. Started drifting right about there. Yay, somebody else with pink drums. Now I'm curious, was there a reason for picking pink for your drums? Or much like myself, is it you just settled on something? I'm kind of like the same way in DaVinci Resolve. Like I probably should come up with some kind of color coding system, but I don't. I really wish that they would add in Resolve a color picker for color coding either clips or media bins, things like that, but they just give you a handful of preset colors, and that leads to a significant lack of versatility. I guess it just kind of forces you to pare things down a bit and try to come up with a smaller standard. I want to hear that. Ooh, I missed that. Let's fix that now. Okay, that sounds good. Probably would have caught that later, but glad to fix it now. I'm wondering how much longer until 8. And I guess what I'm really wondering is what more can they add? I know that there's been some talk in the pre-release forum about adding the ability to choose slot positions for effects. Now, I've never used Pro Tools, so I guess I don't. How can I word this? It doesn't quite make sense to me why that is such a big deal. Like right now, I know that we can just kind of reorder effects by dragging them, but let's say, for example, like in Pro Tools, people may want to always put their compressor in slot B or G or something like that. I guess I just don't get it. Let's see how this verse sounds. I want to go back and hit this interlude just because I like it. Sounds quite good. So we've got one more, see, chorus interlude, one more verse, chorus interlude, and then the new part that you guys, if you were not here as soon as I started this, you have not heard before. It looks wonky. Sounds fine. It's like I have to kind of keep reminding myself that I'm looking at triplets with this grid. Yep, that's it. Unofficial Reaper users group. I don't know that I've posted anything outside of the moderators chat in a few weeks, outside of just posting a link to come hang out for a bit. Just been busy with work and life. And since my old band is practically is dissolved at this point, I'm not doing as much recording other than just recording these drums for my current band. But they do the guitar and vocals elsewhere. And in many respects, it's been nice to just play drums and not have to do everything. Oh, Saturday. It is almost over. Doing quite well. Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. See if we can finish mangling this section and preview it. Now that looks like probably one of my stupid fake triplets. Let's see what I've got going on there. Yep, that is precisely what that was. I don't really know what to call it, but I don't do a very good job of doing triplets or like on the kick, so I tend to do a double on the kicks and then follow it with like a flam on either the snare or the toms, and it sounds cool. Looking mostly good. I need to start to nudge things just a touch here, and a lot more than a touch there. Few milliseconds here and there, and it all works out in the end. Oh, ads. I'm going to have to gift you YouTube Red. Gosh, I've had YouTube Premium for so long that I keep forgetting that other people see ads. And I hope that they don't do like how Amazon Prime is doing now, to where they've started to add ads. They've placed ads in shows even if you're paying for the service, but they want you to pay more to not have ads. Like, is it not enough that we're already buying stuff from you as well as paying for Prime? That's looking good. Oh, we're at the interlude, so let's fix these last couple of hits here. Looks like I've got a tom hit there that needs to back up a touch. And let's get that kick transient lined up. So we'll hit a little bit of that verse into the chorus that is edited, and on into the interlude that has not been edited yet. I swear that thing sounds pretty dang tight as it is, but we're going to get in here and analyze it and find out that it's not. It can be tightened up just a little bit. Yeah, the ads and things have gotten to be ridiculous, and it's, the different services harvest so much information about you that the ads can get a little bit weird. It's like whenever my daughter posts some pictures of my grandson who's got some skin issues, it often has a Dupixent ad right below it. Like, that's creepy. Dupixent is a skin medication, by the way. Right there. Get those ride bell hits right where they need to be. I think I'm on Reddit most often for either camera stuff or dad jokes. I can sit up all night cackling reading the jokes on there. Maybe I'll do that tonight. After I get done with this, I'll just sit up all night reading jokes, and I will go play guitar at church in the morning on zero sleep. It would not be the first time. I knew it was too good to be true. It looked like I had a good long section that was dang near spot. Look at that, those toms and the kick. That's looking good. Don't jinx it, Robinson. Slight nudge here. You got it. That does feel pretty nice, though, when you get to a section. It's like, no, I think I'm just going to leave that alone. But all things considered, I mean, this stuff is not off by much. I mean, if as good as it sounded at the beginning of the stream before I edited anything, I mean, it's safe to say that a lot of the problems that I'm fixing now are just caused by downstream adjustments after messing with one thing. Again, I am nowhere near perfect as a drummer, but what I lack in flashiness, I make up for in pretty good timing. Like when we play live, I don't even hear the band. All that I hear is the metronome. Because my job is to keep time. And I actually like playing to a metronome for one. It helps us to time our shows and make sure that if we're given a certain time limit that we are not going to go over. What is up, dude? And it also helps us to, there's nothing worse. Well, there's a lot of things that are worse, but there's very few things worse than going to see a band live and finding out that they suck live. And us being able to sound just as good, if not better, than the album is a big deal. I mean, our first show that we went and played, the headlining act asked us if we would trade places and headline instead, which was pretty awesome. Oh, I heard the ping, but I didn't want to grab it while on the stream because it would end up showing the message. Let's check this interlude and see how we feel. I heard a snare that I didn't like. Let's go back. Right there. That needs to slip back just a hair. more verse and chorus, and then on to the new section. First kick transient looks to be good, so we will move on from there. Ooh, looks like I had a seizure or something right there. It was off a lot more than the others. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Thank you, sir. I'm excited about finishing this up and hearing it again from front to back. I really like the new section. I actually heard it for the first time yesterday before I recorded it. So I kind of played without recording just that last section. I think I may have done it 2 times, and then I just did 2 full takes of the song, and I've used 90 or more % of the second take with just a couple of hits pulled from the first take. So I was really pleased with how this turned out. I thought that I was going to have to just do it another day, but we went back and listened to the 2 takes and like, no, this is fine. Let's run with it. Everything just had a really good feel to it. Lazy kick. I really like Dustin's vocals on this too. It's very soulful. Suits the song well. We will finish this. Starting to look like I was getting tired here with my right foot. And I got back on it. So you just kind of start seeing the same thing happening a few times. I feel the same way about like I will watch people like harvesting wild honey or cleaning fish or all sorts of weird stuff. I think probably the weirdest thing I've watched recently is like a shoe shining competition. And it shouldn't have been, but it was fascinating. All right, so we are done with that verse. Let's review it. All right, let me send a quick invite and then we will get this finished up. All right, that invite has been sent. So we've got this course and then the new section, which I'm kind of excited to get to. I'm hoping that it's not going to require much, but so far this is all fairly simple edit. Yeah, I think once we finish this course, I'll go back to the beginning and let it play from beginning to end, and let's just see how that last section feels without touching it, other than just lining up that first kick transient, because every move that we make is going to push some things downstream just a bit. Yeah, it's strange. There's so many oddball things on YouTube to watch, and I've made like I don't know if I've used to think it was so silly that people watch stuff about food all the time, and that is what I do now. I can't remember the name of the channel, but there's that guy Sonny that goes around to places all over the world and just looks at interesting foods and stuff. And of course, we like to watch Beard Meets Food every Sunday to see how much Adam gorges himself on random objects all over the world. And it's truly fascinating. I mean, just imagine to be able to make a living by just traveling all over the world and eating. Living the dream. Those are looking very good. No need to edit those, but I need to do a little bit of a push here. Looks like I feathered the kick just a hair right there. Gold refining. I don't know that I've ever seen anything on that. I love watching how stuff is made. And there's a guy I've been watching lately. I don't recall his name, but he hurts himself. It's there's not really a nice way to say it. Like, he does stuff to himself just to experience the sensation and document pain thresholds and stuff like that. And he is absolutely bruised and banged up beyond belief, but he keeps doing it. And it shouldn't be, but it's entertaining. I mean, it's not really gory or anything like that. It's entertaining and for science. No, it's not Electro Boom, although that guy is pretty funny. Like, this guy he is shot himself with non-lethal rounds. Allowed people to. He did one like where he like put a jackhammer on his skin, hit himself in the shins with it. All sorts of nonsense. What is going on here? Okay, that is ever so slightly off. And of course we've created that classic push-pull situation here, so we'll bring this back in line. And that should shore us up a bit downstream. Okay, now you've got me curious. I think the guy's name is Houston. He looks almost like Ash from the Evil Dead series with glasses. And with a whole lot more muscle. Now this is interesting. So let's go ahead and shift this downstream and figure out... Okay, I just need to pull this kick transient back a bit. I'm going to go ahead and test this. Okay, so that is pretty good. Let's make sure that we've got this last little bit lined up nicely, and then we will hit this from front to back and play that new section, and then we'll edit the new section, and then we'll be done. Get that first kick transient into place. Go back to the beginning. I'm going to mute my mic and chug some water while this plays. here is the news section. Enjoy. I think that, much like what I had looked at earlier, it feels like it doesn't need much, but I would be a fool not to go through here and analyze it just a touch. Okay, so I need to expand my almost said hat trick, this is not hockey. Expand my hat track just a bit, and probably will need to nudge these just a touch. Yeah, if I can see them. Yeah, I'll go ahead and back up a hair, and we'll start here and just nudge that, and that looks like that has already got quite a few of them lined up. Those taps were so light. I approve this message. I swear this right here is about like reading Morse code. Or Braille. So tiny. But as it builds, we will be able to see this a little bit more. And I don't think this is going to take much. Just I want to make sure that these hat hits are pretty well gridded. Looks like I did a really good job on this just naturally, but with the music being quieter there, it was so much easier for me to hear the metronome. Yeah, like I said earlier, when we're playing live, I barely hear the music at all. I just hear my metronome. But in this case, since this was a new to me song, at least this last part, I wanted to make sure that what I was playing fit the context of the song well. Particularly like figuring out where the pushes were. Because like with this being swing, some of the stuff was pushed, some of it was straight. And I wanted to make sure that my accents went along with the music well. Okay, here's where I start to bring the kick in, so I can start to focus up there now. What is happening? It is going quite nicely. We are just finishing up a drum edit here. We'll gently massage those kicks, and those are looking like they are very well in time. Mostly just got pushed out of place a little bit by fixing the hats earlier. Another slight nudge there. Oh wow, that is a lot of money for those speakers. I am still running, what do I have? First generation Kali LP8s. Right now I'm just wearing my in-ears because I wanted to make sure that the music didn't feed back into the microphone and didn't want to disturb the misses too much. And we are back with the old push-pull. That kind of threw me for a minute there with that kick not being on the one, but with this being swing, it's just like that. Let's review this section real quick and make sure that that feels good. All right, let's finish this. It's wild. I mean, like everything sounds so good without me nudging it, but this little bit of nudging is also noticeably better. Just ever so slightly tighter. I felt like I was on the struggle bus recording this section yesterday because I don't know why I have such a hard time playing swing. It's like I can play polyrhythms in my sleep, but you give me something in swing and I'm like, no. Got a fair amount of push-pull in here. I want to check that and make sure I haven't butchered this. Yeah, that's actually feeling pretty good. I was second guessing some of this just because of the visual, but having that triplet grid will throw me because my brain is wanting to just switch back to 4/4 and straight eighth notes, but I have to remember these are triplets. Slight nudge there. A little bigger nudge there. All right, we're up to the guitar solo and then end, but let's review. All right, let's get these snare transients lined up. This is our final section, folks. We did it. I say we did it. We're not done yet. We're dangerously close. Sloppy kick right there. I'm excited to hear this again from front to back with the full edit done. I still really feel like this could have passed with zero editing. It just felt right, but all these little nudges have tightened it up so much. Now there is some stuff I was hearing like back in the opening stages of this new section where I think I'm going to have to defy the grid and just follow what happens on the guitars unless Matt is going to line those things up, but I kind of doubt that he will. It seems kind of wrong for the style, if I'm honest. This is meant to be pretty loose, but here I am tightening up the drums. But that ride bell pinging at the right time is really critical to the feel of this. Those are looking good. Lose a little bit here. Sounds like Bell Dog is up and stirring in the other room. I have never. I don't know. I'm kind of weird about Beat Detective. I've seen people use that. I think that's some Pro Tools, and there has been a few people that have made some scripts for Reaper that do a similar thing, but I just do not like the results. It ends up sounding way too robotic. I think we're about done. I think I recall bringing in that other take there for a couple of hits at the end. Check that crossfade. Oh, yes, yes. That sounded absolutely terrible. Hi, Bell Dog. I think one of the big deals about like the older bands when they were all playing live on the floor, it just didn't make sense. As long as the band stayed together, it's fine. But these days, when everybody's recording separate, you kind of have to. Yeah, it made my ears bleed. It's like it lost all of its feeling. And those of you who have been on my streams before, you've heard me talk about this many times, but it's, I don't know, modern music just does way too much to suck the life out of the music. It's too perfect, says the guy who is editing his drums. But as you can see, it's not like I can't play this stuff. Like, we're moving things a matter of milliseconds. And not sample replacing. Yep, there is the end. We have finished. And definitely got to make sure my final transient is right there on the beat. Boop. Okay. Turn off my slip editing mode. And let's... I don't know that I necessarily need to play the whole song because the verse is a little repetitive, but we'll hit the end of a chorus, interlude, the verse, chorus, and the new part. I want to start that back. I just love how that chorus goes into that interlude. Got to go back just a hair. I am not totally sure, but I think I may have heard a bad crossfade in that verse. No, I think what I was hearing was some cabinet resonance, and I thought it was maybe like something I'd messed up in the drum edit. So, carry on. Again, whatever I'm hearing seems to be in the guitars, so I'm going to let that go. And let's see. Christopher, I'm hunting a video to post in chat where you can, gosh, I can't talk now, where Matt talks about his guitar tone. think we're in pretty good shape with that. Just because I like the song, I'm going to play it one more time, and then I'm going to go to bed. If you guys have got any questions or comments, now is the time. right, so there we go. That is the beginning of our new song, Haitian Queen. As for the drums and stuff of that nature, yeah, my overheads, I use a tape measure and make sure that I'm dangerously close to identical as far as distance from the snare center. When I used the phase alignment tool in Reaper before I started this stream, my overheads were one sample off from each other, which was some pretty nice placement. But let's see, these room mics sound a little something like this. Now if I take off the plug-in, so that's more the natural room, but I kind of compress them a bit and add some EQ. So if I play my drums with the rooms muted, check this out. So those rooms really bring everything to life. That room up. Davi! So as for processing, I think Christopher, you had asked about samples. As we have discovered, this is all my live playing, and the only thing that I'm really using for processing is I've got PSP Infinistrip in a few key places. I did use one instance of Melda Dynamic EQ on my ride. My placement for the mic on the ride was not good, and I was getting, I guess as the ride was rocking, a pretty significant blast of air across it that just did not sound good. So if I go to this interlude and solo my ride, you can still hear some of it in there, but if I turn this off, so that really helps to kind of reduce that obnoxious honking sound. Oh yeah, I've got my mic set up. I've got, of course, snare top and bottom. I'm using a single kick mic, 3 on the toms. I use a hat spot mic, a ride spot mic, and 2 overheads and 2 room mics. Oh, but yeah, the processing. So I was just running PSP Infinistrip and M Dynamics on my. On the backing track, I added an instance of Infinistrip just to add a little bit of subtle compression on that. And I had to turn this, when he sent me the backing track, it was cranked way too hot, so I had to turn it down to make room for the drums. And I used Melda Dynamic EQ to pull some mud out. If I play this in solo and turn off this EQ, here we'll turn it on. That removed, to my ear, a good bit of mud, and actually it seemed like it accentuated the fuzz and made it more crisp and slightly bright, but not obnoxious. It felt like it was a lot of ear fatigue to me with the low-end buildup in there. Oh yeah, I've got tom mics. I've got a Audix D2 on tom 1 and 2, and a D4 on the toms. Let's see here. There should be some tom work here in the interlude somewhere. Let's figure this out. Here's some toms. That sounds weird because I've got them gated, but oh, didn't realize I had that set to repeat. Well, I reckon that's about it. This song, at least as far as my part, other than exporting these tracks and sending them over to Matt to finish mixing, is in the books. Let's hit this last section one more time, and I'm going to bed. Yeah, right there, that is bugging me, and I think I may want to add some markers as I listen to the guitar because it's defying the... It's not quite on the grid. So let's see what we get here. And I'm now realizing that my marker placement is pointless because I'm inadvertently listening to my drums instead of the guitar. Let's see if I can see it. No, I'm not going to be able to see crap on that. I might be able to if I use spectral peaks, maybe. I think I'm just going to have to nudge this manually best I can. Yeah, I really like the Audix mics. They sound good, and they cost me more than I wanted to spend, but buy once, cry once. Oh, I am... maybe it's me that's off. I didn't pay close enough attention to these, I guess. Let's do a little bit more nudging on these hats here. Yeah, I've got the, I think it was the 7-piece Audix kit, and for my ride and hat spot mics, those are very cheap Samson CO2s. I think I may have paid either 50 or $100 for a 2-pack of them. Not to be confused with Tupac. Let's see if those little nudges helped or hurt. I think that note right there on the guitar is a little soon. So I'm just going to go ahead and nudge this back a bit to favor the guitar's timing. A little too far. Yeah, that feels much better there. It's very slight, but the guitar goes slightly out of time there, and nudging those hats really helped that segment. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. I guess I should fade that out, but no, matter of fact, I'll let him do that with his mix. Well, that's it for me, guys and girls. Where is my thing here? Boop. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with me on this unannounced live stream. It's been fun. Hope to see you again. Have a good night and drink some coffee for me.